Even when I was a little kid, I have always had a fascination with U.S. presidents. The day I was born, Jimmy Carter was the president. And for some reason in my mind, that always made him my president. All of my life, Jimmy Carter has been the role model of what it meant to me to be an American president. And I think what's interesting about that is that my perception of him was always who he was post-presidency. I was born in October of 1980. That year, he lost to Ronald Reagan in November of the same year. So I didn't know him as a president like someone who had voted for him, but rather who he was once he left office. Who he was post-presidency has widely been accepted as one of, if not the most productive lives of a former American president. And as an elder statesman, he was involved in hostage negotiations. He worked with and elevated awareness around Habitat for Humanity. He made the eradication of the guinea worm one of his center's, the Carter Center's major initiatives. And as a citizen, he was a role model for the rest of us, teaching Sunday school at the church he grew up in well into his 90s. The way he lived his values, the way he loved his wife, Rosalind. They were married for 77 years. That's unbelievable, 77 years. I have a high opinion of Jimmy Carter. And I look at his life as an example because I see it as a profound lesson, one that I carry with me a lot. It's one that I wrote about in my book. George Washington, our first president, may have been the only reluctant hero to ever occupy the office of president, serving out of duty rather than out of personal ambition. None of the other presidents have been that reluctant hero. None of them were someone who said, "Oh, I don't want to do it, but I'll do it if you drag me there. I'll be president if you all insist." None of them, not a single one, was dragged to their inauguration. And Jimmy Carter was no exception to that. No one twisted his arm and forced him to run for president. He had to want it. He had to have the ambition for it. And I'm not saying that in a disparaging way, not in the least. The fact that he had the ambition should be a reminder for us all of the human condition. Even the most humble, most modest, most dedicated to service are also ambitious, are also driven. I used to have a therapist who would tell me all the time that we all have all of it within us. We all have all of the stuff. We all have the parts of the human condition within us. We all have the ambition, and we all have the compassion. We all have the capacity to give, and we have the capacity to take. The battle of our lives is, which side are you going to feed? Which side are you going to nurture? Which side do you allow to win the day and to win your life? Jimmy Carter chose which parts of himself to nurture, which parts to feed. It's a choice that we all get to make. It's a choice we already make every single day, because none of us escapes the human condition. But we don't have to become president to know what we would do. We are doing it now. How we will be remembered is a story we write every day. Carter offers us an example of the extreme. It's an extreme that only a few of us will ever experience. Only a few of us will ever be the most powerful person in the world. But it's because of how extreme his story is that brings it into clearer focus for us. Clear because it's obvious to us how it could have gone. How it could have gone. How it has gone for so many who have scaled the peak and then spit in the wind, who allowed their ambition to override their humanity, whose good fortune only highlighted their moral bankruptcy. What would you do with the power and prestige once you got it? Who would you be when there is no longer profit or power to pursue? We are already answering these questions every single day of our lives. Carter offers us a rare blend of both inspiration and aspiration as we search for our answers. If somebody like that can channel that level of ambition and still practice humility and give and serve and love, can remain in a committed relationship, can practice his faith, can humbly pray, then surely I can too. May Jimmy Carter's life be the example of American exceptionalism. May the life he lived be the inspiration for who we can be. May his life be the role model for what it means to be a good man, a real man. May his style of leadership be our ambition. May his memory be a lesson and a blessing for all of history. And may all of you have joy, peace, and happiness, good health and well-being, a life of ease and prosperity, the courage to get what you want from this life, the clarity to know what that is, the imagination to not sell yourself short, and the discipline to see it through.